Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. So I'm sitting here amidst some crystal companions. They're jumping out. Who wants to be included in Sunday's sale? Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday. How are we doing? Juliet, Mike, InstaKitty, some new folks, please say hello. Oh, so I felt compelled to hop on. Talk about crystalline codes. Talk about what's coming through over here at the Kamali Temple. So it's been a while since I've done a sale, and that has been for a reason. For many of you that have been following me over the past, did I plug my phone in? I basically have been getting these downloads that I couldn't ignore. And there was a very distinct message that said to me, crystals are getting in the way. And it almost makes me emotional because they've been such a big part of my world for so long. But luckily, it wasn't like a dead end. There has been a gigantic gift, exponential, infinite gift that has come with this, where I couldn't have known, and it is still being revealed as to why this message came through as it did. Because what it was showing me was a lot of things. And for those of you that listened to my talk on crystalline embodiment, who tuned into the live free masterclass, those of you like Juliet that are in the course, know that there needs to be room. We need to make room in our bodies for new information, new ways of being, our desires, our visions to be able to land. If there isn't any room, energetically speaking, but the energy is created by, yes, like doing something different physically or doing less physically, creating space in our mind. And that is such a key component, because our mind, our subconscious mind, is taking up a lot of room. Because our mind doesn't just live up here, it lives in our whole body. And what was so fascinating this week in the Crystalline Embodiment course, where we're really bridging the physical, this physical reality that we exist in, this physical body that we reside in, with the higher dimensions, with our intuition, with the divine, with the invisible aspects of life. And what's so fascinating is that I know for many of you, like myself, like the women in the course, you know that you're drawn to the invisible. Crystals are a great example. I know many of you started following me because of the content I was sharing on crystals. And crystals I've always thought of them this way, as being a gift from the higher dimensions to not only support with our ascension, but here is this beautiful tool, beautiful gift from Mother Earth that is actually our bridge to the invisible. And I've seen this in numerous clients, numerous students, numerous friends that I have given crystals to, sold crystals to, shared crystals with, where that spark goes off of being able to have an experience with the invisible. And when I say the invisible, I mean that which is moving through and around us and all of creation that we cannot perceive with our normal eye, but is nonetheless in existence all around us. And this is obviously not something that we're taught. It's not something that is embedded in normal societal construct culture. Yet here we pick up a crystal and we have an experience that often we can actually put into words, but sometimes not. And what we put into words is just a fraction of the totality of the impact that the crystal is having on our entire being, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And they're awakening us each time to the fact that not only is the crystal a physical object that is carrying streams of high frequency invisible energy, but that we too have that ability. And so with the crystals, and this is what was knocked over my head over these past few months, because we're so conditioned to give our power away to something outside of ourselves, or think that something outside of us is going to give us that which we desire. And while that may be true in some cases, like you want a soul-fulfilling job or partner, so it shows up in physical form. However, it only shows up and can be received when A, you've attuned to that vibrational frequency yourself, and B, when you've created the space for it to land. And this happens not only with the physical, but with all of the desired feelings that we could possibly have. Love, peace, joy, acceptance, abundance, on and on and on. Because those streams, those frequencies are ever abundant all around us. There's just so many veils getting in the way. And not only veils, but subconscious beliefs getting in the way of us actualizing them, embodying them as our truth, and not just it's something out there or something that something or someone is going to give me. But that's how our consumer culture works. That's how our even more underlying framework of our culture works, that keeps us seeking outside, which keeps us more susceptible to control, to stories of lack, so on and so forth. But that is not the actual truth of our reality and existence. That is just what we have been fed and what we have been ingrained with for so long. But now we are in a time in our evolution where, on the individual level, we get to choose something new. We get to have consciousness expanding experiences that are like maybe through a crystal, maybe through plant medicine, maybe through meditation, maybe through a walk in nature, whatever it may be. And we no longer have to keep it out there. What I was told, and I had to listen, though it has been so hard for me, is that it's my role to support people in creating the space in their body so that these higher consciousness experiences no longer just stay in the ethers, no longer just stay in our dream world, in this place of wishing that we could be existing somewhere other than we are, in the reality other than what we are in. And so what I'm realizing, and now only through the manifestation of the class and all of the women so vulnerably sharing in it, am I even able to see it that much more clearly as to what and with my own, it's making even more sense, my own life journey. Because one of my biggest struggles was feeling okay in my body. And that took different chapters throughout my life. And now I can look back and I see why. Of course, we all go through our challenging experiences so that we can then help others through our own living proof. But there's absolutely no way I would feel like an integrated human that could show up and teach on these things if I wasn't actually able to have a crystalline experience and actually be able to allow it in and express. And what I'm realizing, in the class, in the crystalline embodiment class, is that and I'm sure all of you and all of the women there know that they're more than physical. They desire to connect to their intuition. They are fascinated by the mystical, by the invisible, by the spiritual, by what more is out there for us to discover. Yet they so courageously showed up, not fully knowing what to expect, but showing up knowing that on some level, the way to what they desire and the way to what we all desire is actually through our body. And when we consciously say to ourselves, I'm gonna enter back in here, do you know how much shit comes up? So much. So much. But it's like so much comes up, but this is why, I could talk forever about the course, which will make a bridge, but having that support is so valuable. Because it's like the moment that you start to drop in and you get hit with all of those feelings from not feeling, from being scared of feeling for so long, that they all come up to the surface and you're being called to feel them so that you can actually receive the feeling energy of your intuition, the feeling energy of that which is all around you, those higher frequencies. We can't just say, I only receive the higher vibrational frequencies. It's like, no, we must come into our body first. We must clear the space so that all of this higher vibrational energy and wisdom and truth has a place to land in this physical form, so that it can then express in our human experience. If we don't have the place for it to land, then again, it just stays up here and out there, and we get, then we're just in our dream world of, wow, wouldn't it be nice to be on, be hanging out with the Pleiadians somewhere. And yes, like, for sure, like, look, I'm communicating with higher dimensional beings, and they're like, get the F back in your body, and you have work to do. And like, yes, like, go out here and receive this trusted insight, but there's absolutely no, it's like, they're basically like, with the crystals, it was like, no more. This is getting in the way of you doing what you're here to do. And that's not what I wanted to hear. And just like within the bravery, within the Crystalline embodiment group, if I just was like feeding crystals all day, of course we would take it, because we prefer go out than go in. But then we'll never be able to fully experience that which is here and available to us on this life path. The awareness that we come from somewhere else, that we exist in higher dimensions, is not to pull us out of this one. It is here to say, okay, well, what is in the way of those higher dimensional frequencies coming through your body? And then they get to naturally express in your reality. That's the way. It's like, I'm just shown it over and over and over and over again. But this fear of feeling, fear is leading us to a belief, a limiting belief that we hold about ourselves. A limiting belief that has been programmed since whenever it was programmed. But the fascinating thing, and the women in the group know, you're able to rewrite that story. It doesn't have to always be that way. Though we just weren't given a handbook, a map, as to how to navigate that. The fact that we can time travel, just like that. The fact that, there's so much that is not being revealed to us as a common truth. And so that's where our personal responsibility and sovereignty are being called upon, especially now, and that's not just an intellectualization of a concept. It is an invitation that has to come from in here, that has to be felt, and that you have to then authentically know through your own experience, oh, this is real and this is really happening. Sorry, my screen just went dark. I don't know if it went dark on your end too. So, crystalline codes. And I wasn't exactly sure what was going to pour out in this live, but this is so, it was like, I'm not going to say I wasn't allowed to do a sale, or it wasn't, but it's kind of how it felt. It was like my whole guidance system was like, no, this is what you're called to follow, called to share, called to receive these downloads, and they just keep coming. There's now a follow-up course that has come through to Crystalline Embodiment that's all about how to teach people, whoever feels the call, how do I create space in here to actually tap into my body's psychic abilities? Because we all have psychic abilities, we all have an intuition. It is not something that is acquired. And I'm, whatever your perspective is on this, I'm through the lens that I'm seeing right now, it has nothing to do with our third eye. It has nothing to do with how open our third eye center is it doesn't matter. It does not matter, because it does not matter how many amethyst crystals you put on your third eye center. That is not going to increase your intuition if you do not have a place in your body that feels safe to actually feel, to trust, and then to actually allow your intuition to express in your waking reality. You just can't. It at least maybe 10 years ago you could, I don't know. But right now the calling is you must be able to feel safe to feel. If you ever want yourself to move out of the construct of this linear physical logical reality and into an intuitive feminine feeling way of being that is actually in the greatest alignment with your path, and not a path that has been constructed by something outside of you. But I realize through my own experience, and that I witness in all of my clients, is that we get to that point where we can conceptualize that, and we get that, and maybe we keep getting the messages, but it can be so hard, feels like it's so hard, because of the depth of feeling, because we've never been taught how to actually feel something uncomfortable and be okay with it, and how to navigate those feelings, and that there's actually nothing wrong with them. Because all of these energies are in existence, and it's just the meaning that you give to them that is dictating the vibrational quality that is taking up space in your physical form. That's a fear as well. It's the meaning that you have given to anything. For those of you that ever listen to Bashar, he says so often, life is actually meaningless. In of itself, it is neutral, completely neutral. It is us that puts the meaning to it, that then dictates our experience. But we can, when we actually drop into our body and we get honest with, whoa, okay, I'm this is an uncomfortable feeling, but what is it that's cycling? What is it that's creating that feeling frequency? If you go a step further, especially in a supportive group, you can gain access to that information. You can gain access to that information and say, whoa, I gave the meaning to, like, for example, someone in the group, her father passed away when she was young, and considered that to be a trauma that she'd been working with up until this point. Okay, so unpacking all of that, it was the meaning, that she had given at that young age before she had any awareness of spirit, any awareness of life after death. All of these constructs of that you don't know, and then you take it personally and you say, oh, he left me, so I must have done something wrong. I'm being punished, or da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All of the things that we can create something like that to mean that is not the actual truth. And then once we're able to use our expanded consciousness in the now, we can rewrite those stories, and be rewriting those stories, it changes the energetic density that is being carried in our body and field. And that's the stuff that we are feeling as discomfort each time we enter in. But we were never taught that we can change that we can rewrite that, and that it's actually in here and not out there that holds what we're actually looking for. We have to be able to trust our bodies to be able to allow our intuition, something that I know we all want, because these are the activation codes. These are the crystalline codes that are being activated within humanity. This is why everyone wants to know, how do I access my intuition? How do I manifest? How do I create my reality? But it is, again, not something that is done intellectually. The intellectualization can create a context, but you have to have space to be able to receive anything that you desire. And by creating that space, it's what I just laid out. Why couldn't I receive that frequency right now? And that is what the crystalline codes are here to show us. And that is why I wanted to come in and preface this sale, because it was like, okay, yes, you can do this, but this bridge, this very powerful bridge, needs to be made. It needs to be in place. Because as the crystalline frequency, oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I would love to know how this is landing for you. The crystalline codes. Each crystal carries vibrational frequencies. And many of you have heard me say before that my belief system is one that crystals were, yes, they are, we can say, logically. They're grown from Mother Earth. I've seen that. I've mined them. I know that to be true. But I've also been shown higher dimensional realms where high vibrational crystal energy is actually moving from higher vibrational sources from the higher dimensions through the physical crystal. So it's not just energy coming from the crystal itself. But here's the thing, and this is why even with the light language, with the light codes, same thing. It's not to say this higher dimensional, this crystal is giving me something that I don't already have. The big teaching, the big download for humanity right now that we were never taught is that these codes, it's like we are this computer. If you think of yourself as a computer, we have tons of codes that have not been activated. But there are certain codes that have. And these could be, the codes of your subconscious belief. So the codes of your subconscious beliefs are activated in your computer system. And so that's your operating system. That's the lens through which you see the world. That's how you interface. That's how you perceive. But how you perceive is through the lens of your subconscious. And that is what is creating the vibrational density that is being stored in here that you can feel. This is why A Course in Miracles says a miracle is a shift in perception. Because perception, if we're shifting our perception to one that moves from a limiting belief to an expansive belief, our vibrational frequency lifts. That's authentic raising of one's vibration. So with the crystals, they're reminding us of what we already are. They're reminding us of the abilities and the qualities that we actually have access to all the time. All the time. And they're reminding us of all of the different dimensions, densities, qualities that are in existence. Because our language is limited, but we're not interfacing with that at all. We're not in our daily life, we're more so focused on things outside of ourselves. Not what we actually have access to within ourselves. And it's like a permission slip that says you can attune to this frequency of that which you desire. You can attune to the frequency of your intuition, of your third eye. There's through the law of resonance, you wouldn't be able to activate your third eye if that wasn't already within you. You can activate your ability to see, but again, it's not just about that. It's not just about having the experience in that moment of the crystal meditation or the sitting with it. That is so powerful and potent because you're getting, it's like these constant reminders. Oh, this frequency is available. This frequency is available. This frequency is available. But then, this is where the embodiment piece is so key. Because if you're not feeling safe in here, then you move off the meditation pillow, and that's where that experience stays. If you can actually allow it to move into your body, then you can actually allow for your intuitive ability to be trusted in your everyday life. Or, a crystal that's moving you into your solar plexus. That soul confidence. So in that moment, you can say, wow, I'm attuning to the vibration of soul confidence. But as you move into your day, if you are not exercising that, putting that into practice, or this is the step further that is being driven home. Because it's not just like, oh, I'm supposed to be this like perfect human, get the code activation, and then I'm going to go into my life, because these things are so deeply programmed. But the step further in this case is to say, whoa, what do I believe to be true about myself around the confidence in who I am? Because we don't even know who we really are. And it takes a humble and vulnerable human to admit that and say, wow, I'm willing to let go. Like, this is energy clearing. This is energy clearing. And this is why it's like, I love selenite, I have it all over my house, but if you're not actually taking it this step further and realizing what it's actually doing to your field and what it's requiring for your humanness to be a co-creator in that process, there will always be that dependency. My Crystal Kingdom guides were like, this isn't what we had planned. Like, you cannot do this anymore. You cannot facilitate that. So the clearing is saying, wow, okay then life, okay then universe, okay then guides, okay then higher self. As I move back into my day, show me who I am not. Let me, show me who I am not. And I tell you, and the women in Crystalline embodiment know this from the integration, you move into your physical reality and you are shown. Sometimes it can be wildly uncomfortable. Sometimes you don't want to see it. But this is why we desire for our intuitive light to turn on. But then all of a sudden we start seeing things as they are, and we shut it back down, and we wonder why all the amethyst crystals aren't working. What am I afraid of seeing? What am I afraid of feeling? So all of these doors are opening up for you with the crystalline codes being activated in your body. But then there is a co-creation process, because your life is going to reveal to you what is in the way of the authentic embodiment of those feeling frequencies that you desire. Because they're right there. Your intuition is right here. It's the fears and the beliefs that are clouding its ability to be made fully manifest in your life. What are you actually afraid of? And that will lead you to what you actually believe. Responsibility, the unknown, whatever it is. The meaning, too, that you've given to whatever you perceive to be uncomfortable. So as the codes that you desire, as your intuition leads you to these crystals, we know that. We've all had that experience, I can imagine. It's saying, okay, this is the best crystal for me right now. This is the best crystal for me right now, and it is attuning my vibrational frequency to what is actually possible. But then are we willing to exchange with the invisible to physical in our waking reality? Because the light turns on. We're shown the thoughts that are getting in the way. We're shown through triggers. We're shown through situations sticking out like a sore thumb. We are shown through judgments. It's like the light is on. We see it so clearly. That's how much all of your invisible support team cares about you. They're like, here you go. But are you willing to see? And if you're not willing to see, or you're not willing to feel, there's no room for your intuition. There's no room for your intuition to express in your life. So this is super, super, super valuable and super potent. And I know that the healing your body relationship is incredibly real. And I also know that the one thing that I can say I wish that I knew was that I am like, that was not the totality of me. And I know on some level I could feel that, which is what made the healing journey possible. But there is a higher dimensional, higher self version of you, your spirit, your soul, your essence, your true self, who is untouched by the human experience, that is in existence right now, living through you. And that aspect of you is unconditional love and pure truth, and can be called upon at any time, regardless of what your human self is experiencing. Moving into soul confidence. Love this. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here. So really, that ability to know that whatever the discomfort is can be held. And the crystal energies are here. I know I've worked with crystals for a lot of emotional healing and a lot of emotional support. A lot of times when I felt and have felt and continue to feel very alone, there's something to me that's incredibly reassuring about crystals and their energy. But I also know that the dependent relationship is of the old paradigm, and the abilities that we all have far surpass what we are embodying and expressing right now. And I don't say that in a way to like perpetuate like a story of lack, but just to share the awarenesses that I'm getting every single day around this topic. Because I'm always like, can I just please like just focus on star beings and the higher dimensions and just talk about that all the time? Like, because we're all drawn more so to that so that we don't have to come in here. But every single time they're like, no. I remember, oh my God, I remember once after having this like far out experience, they were like, I got this flash of how I brush my hair. And they were like, showing me how I can just be like, you know, like super fast, not mindful, not caring. And they were like, that makes a difference. Even that makes a difference. And it's like this important, more than important. If there was a word from more than important, I would say it. They are only here, the crystals, the higher dimensionals, to support our human experience, to make this the best one yet. We have so much more access than ever before to our subconscious, to our ability to time travel, to our ability to rewrite the story, to our ability to be the frequency of that which we desire. That is manifestation. Manifestation is not just thinking something into reality. It is feeling something into reality, because first you feel it. And that is what the crystals are entraining us to as well. But it is not the crystal that is giving it to you. It is the crystal reminding you of your own divinity that is within. So this is so valuable, because I know even with myself, it's like even these energies, you know, something like abundance, something like peace, something like bliss, something like pleasure. we say, okay, this thing can give it to me. But when I sit in a meditation, or if we even take the time to do that and we say, wow, okay, this energy is actually very much available to me right now. I can think about pleasure. I can think about peace, but then can I feel pleasure? Can I feel peace? Can I feel what it is that I think something outside of me is going to give me? You have to be able to feel it within first, but you can. We all can. We all can access any feeling frequency that we desire in any given moment. And if we can't, or if we think that we can't, that is the direct roadmap to the belief. And that's where we can start unpacking. If we cannot allow for these desired frequencies to land, to sustain, when we're not doing this, that is the invitation to go the step further. Go the step further. Why could I not embody abundance without a crystal or without all these things that I think are going to give that to me? Because the feeling frequency is right there. It is within you. It is just a dormant code that, because of your belief systems, has not yet been activated. So I could go down so many rabbit holes, but we'll leave it at that. I thank you all for being here, for sharing your collective energy. I would love to know if you would like to send me a message. Let me know how this resonated with you, how this lands for you. And I'm sure on Sunday I'll be talking a bit about this more. The live sales are not just about selling and buying the crystal. It is allowing for the message of the crystal to come through. And, I will say, and this is just full vulnerability, that it is incredibly challenging for me, because at least the story I've been telling myself is that these are not the stories that everyone wants to hear. Because it is like turning the script back to personal responsibility, but that is the greatest gift that they are giving us in this lifetime. Thank you all. I love seeing some new faces here. Feel free, if we have yet to meet each other, send me a message. Send me your name. Tell me hello. Organic Comfort, Christy, Sonia, Naomi, Jay, Nelly, Natalie. So great to see you on here. Thank you for receiving this message, this download, and of course, there's always more to come. And as a follow, it's really an extension of the crystalline embodiment. As I get, I've got the information downloaded. I'm just working on putting that into the internet so that it can be shared with you. But the next course is all about your psychic body and all about how you can actually access the inherent wisdom within your body to make this the most comfortable place to inhabit. I know what it feels like for the body to not feel like a safe home. I know it. And I now know that the greatest gift is to be able to feel comfortable in here, to feel at ease in here, to trust this. Because I know we're all fed up with trying to get truth outside of us. I know we all know that there is something more. But what I keep getting is it's not going to come through here. It's going to come through here. So that when we make this a comfortable place, all of the invisible insight, downloads, whatever it may be, will have a place, a home to land within us. Because if it doesn't, that's not like, there is a higher intelligence There is a higher intelligence, and that is the message that is being repeated over and over and over again. So thank you all again. Happy Friday. I hope to see you on Sunday. And please stay connected. Let me know. Let me know what has been sparking for you, what has been coming through for you, what this lit up in you, so we can keep this going. Until next time. Oh, hello from India. Cool. Hey. Thank you for being here. And Kim. Oh, thank you, Kim. All right, everybody. Send in my love.